Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Tuesday's Talk with Grada. And I'm back in my beautiful healing room. And today I want to talk a little bit about the Christmas season and how many of my clients have experienced the year 2022 and looking forward to the year 23. And I want to shine the light on the subject of grief. Grief is often a silent companion in our lives that many people don't want to connect with, and they push it under or they disconnect with it. And then Christmas time comes around, and it's meant to be a joyful season, right? But many people don't realize that grief and joy come from the same bucket. They live in the same container. And trouble happens when people don't allow grief to move through their body and move through. Literally, they get stuck in it. And then what I see a lot is that people repress that experience, or they resist it rather. And there is a saying that what you resist persists, and before long they're not able to experience joy anymore. So this could be you if you're listening to me today. I mean, this is often we all experience periods of time like that, including myself, even though I work with emotional healing a lot and trauma healing. That's what I specialize in, and yet sometimes I'm not even aware of what's going on in my body, and I need help from another coach or another healer to tell me that I'm stuck somewhere or stuck in grief. Like even this morning I was working with a client, and she was telling me a story that was really full of hurt and disappointment, and she just couldn't put her finger on what she was feeling. And this is a woman who's been on a personal development journey for a long time, and I pointed out to her, what you're feeling is actually grief. And then she goes, oh yes, of course, that's what it is. I just didn't know what I was feeling, and everything fell into place for her then. So today I want to talk about grief, because many of us have had a grief year, right? There have been many difficult experiences. People have died, people have lost loved ones, people are dealing with the loss of their dreams, the loss of their previous existence, because we know that pretty much collectively, humanity has been through the washing machine and the tumbler and the wringer, and nothing is the same anymore as it was 3 years ago. So it's as if our whole existence has been liquefied. And I like that analogy actually, because when you think of a caterpillar before it turns into a beautiful butterfly, it literally, after it's built its cocoon, it releases an enzyme that liquefies its entire body till it just turns into soup. There is nothing left of the previous caterpillar, nothing at all. And then that liquid nutritious soup has the memory of the butterfly or the blueprint, so it starts to grow into a butterfly, it starts to grow the wings and all the rest. And then eventually, of course, we know the story, the butterfly flies away. It has a much bigger brain and bigger nervous system capacity. It can fly, the grub couldn't fly, and so it's a different being. And so sometimes, obviously, as part of our human evolution, we were called to go through this process of the last 3 years where our old existence has been liquefied, but we are not quite the butterfly yet. I don't think we are, right? Because most people are still in a lot of pain and confusion. And what adds to that pain is the fact that there is resistance to acknowledge that this is where we're at, because we want to pretend we're already the butterfly or we're back on solid ground, when clearly we're not yet there. So at this point in time, grief is a beautiful companion. Actually, always, grief is always our companion, because we have our own up and downs, we have disappointments, we make mistakes, even, I mean, it doesn't always have to be with losing a loved one. And I want to talk about that in a minute as well, just to give you some clarity. We tap into the collective grief of humanity. We have our grief in our body from our ancestors and so on. And so if we don't acknowledge us at different times, or we don't recognize that we are processing grief, or grief is showing up for us, it's knocking on our front door, our energy is going to start to feel really heavy, and then our ability to experience joy also goes away, because grief and joy come through the same portal. So as a healer, I offer a safe container for my clients to process grief, to get things flowing again, because it doesn't matter what emotion you're feeling, whether it's grief or happiness or love or whatever, or hate, it doesn't matter what the emotion is, things have to keep flowing, because trouble starts if things get stuck, in the same way that if you look at the blue sky and a cloud comes past and it suddenly stops overhead, right? That would be unnatural, wouldn't it? If it was still there the next day and the day after and it never moved, that would be very strange, and it would be a sign the universe is kind of collapsing on itself, because it's not meant to do that. But that's how we treat our internal weather, our internal climate. Like a cloud comes along, or a hurricane, or a storm, or a shower, or whatever, and we just want to shut the door and squash it. So today I'm going to offer you a beautiful short meditation, maybe 10 minutes. Don't listen to me when you're driving, by the way, where I'm going to help you to connect with your grief partner, and so that you can become familiar with that feeling and the partner, and also get the benefit from it, because your grief is really a companion to the soul, right? And it brings in a lot of wisdom as well, and it can bring you a lot of comfort, and eventually it will also bring you a lot of joy as well. So this is the upside of it. So also this year I have lost some beautiful friends as well, so I know what you're going through, and I just want to remind you again that I myself had a near-death experience in 2006 when a truck hit me from behind, and I started to die, and I left my body, and I had a near-death experience. So what happened to me was that I left my body, so I left my earth suit. So it really hurts people when people believe the earth suit, like this meat sack, some people call it, is all there is to it. That's who we are, when it couldn't be further from the truth. So I realized when I left my body, and I felt incredibly peaceful and not fearful. I never experienced such inner peace ever in my entire life. I realized I still exist. I don't die. I'm immortal. And death is an illusion, because people, they just jump out of their nervous system or their body, and they continue to exist right with us on a different plane, maybe you can say, but their existence doesn't stop. So actually death doesn't exist, and we don't need to say goodbyes. We can just say, see you forever, because we are here forever, and our loved ones are here forever as well. So some of the notions we have around the grieving state, when we lose our beloved or a pet or something, and a heart is broken, the pain gets worse, because we are believing in lies that were put into us when we came into this culture. Because at the core of our being, we are immortal beings. We are infinite consciousness that doesn't go away. It's just the form that you see today goes away, and that's it. And the jury is out, about past lives. We can have our own ideas about it, but we do continue to exist. And I learned something really important this year from a lecture I was listening to. Apparently the worst pain, if people feel pain or regret that they have, is the pain of withholding love in the lifetimes that they have lived. I can't remember now who said that. So the focus in this life needs to be on keeping your love flowing, sharing, loving yourself as well, not withholding your love for whatever reason. That most of the time we withhold our love because we feel pain and because we're suffering, because we're stuck, because we have grief in our body. So that's why I want to do a meditation with you and to let you know that if you feel stuck in grief, or you just literally feel stuck, you don't even know that it is grief, please do come and see me and have a few sessions with me, and I can help you move that through your body. So grief needs to be an embodied experience. Sometimes you hear people talk about, you can tell that they've just processed it with their thinking mind, but feelings can never be processed just by thinking about it. They have to be felt in the tissues of our body, and they have to go through the tissues of our body, and they literally then have to move through us. And then it's like our heart gets polished. We're not the same person anymore that we were. We have learned from it, we've evolved from it, our capacity for wisdom has increased and so on. That's what we are here in the body for. And I didn't realize any of this many years ago because I grew up in a very, very strict Christian sect, and the doctrine was that your body is just an evil thing, it's the cause of all problems, it's despicable, blah blah, lots of stuff that caused me to disconnect massively from my body. And whenever I had a crisis, when I was a young mom, and Peter and I had lots of kids, and I mean life was tough, I always got through the crisis by disconnecting from my body, by rising above it. That's what I'd been trained to do, that had been put into me, like rise above it, transcend your problems, right? So it's like go up and out. And then eventually, of course, I had to be hit by a truck, because the universe wants us to experience our body in all its magic, in all it's a sacred container. It's a sanctuary, and I had to suffer a lot of pain for me to be able to come home into my body. And that's what I help people now, because now I feel so stable and so strong, and I know how to process things and allow them to go through the cells of my body. And as the butterfly, like what I said before, when the grub is dissolving itself in its cocoon, it's hiding, right? Life around, it's not participating in life around it. It's hiding, it's hanging under a tree in the shade or in a dark corner somewhere while that's being processed. And this is another reminder for us as well, that grief needs to be assimilated and processed inside our body, inside our bone marrow, you could say, inside the mysterious dark places of our body that sometimes you can't even reach in there when you're by yourself. That's why another reason why a healer or a coach needs to help you, and it asks from you to slow down, to just step out of the busyness of life. And just recently I felt that real impulse again for me to seek out those places where life is slow, and to just be really, really grounded, because we're also living at a time now of evolution where humans are asked to step up and to ground the light that we are. We're all beings of light, and to just hop off the hamster wheel and slow down and seek those quiet, still places inside our body so that our light can be anchored. That's how we can help fast forward the evolution on our planet. So I hope this makes sense to you. So if you're ready now, and if you're driving, don't listen to me, just turn your phone off, because I don't want to put you to sleep. I want you to do this meditation with me so that you can get to know your grief partner. So I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes, because grief happens on the inside. And just invite your higher self to come in and feel the presence of your higher self at the back of your body, in whatever shape he or she looks like. Whatever shows up for you is perfect. You might Notice that there is like a solid feeling behind you now, or a still feeling behind you. It's your higher self. Your higher self usually feels much bigger than your physical body and stronger. Just breathe into your body and resting into your higher self that's holding you at the back and from behind. Just feel the weight of your body on the chair, and then feel your energy flowing through your legs, through your knees, through your feet, into the ground, into Mother Earth. Mother Earth has been supporting you through this lifetime in every way, shape and form. Just feel a sense of gratitude and appreciation as you connect to Mother Earth, and then drop your attention all the way into the center of Mother Earth to a point of light. That's the light of infinite consciousness, infinite stillness, infinite creation, the cycle of birth and death and rebirth, infinity. It's all happening there, and you know that. Your body already knows that. There's no dramas there for your body. And then pull your energy back up from that point of light through the soles of your feet, through your legs, and come back into your heart center. Now ask your higher self to show what your grief companion, your grief partner looks like. So just imagine grief is knocking on your door, and you open the door, all the while conscious that your higher self has got your back. And you open the door. What does grief look like? Does it look like a homeless stranger? Does it look like a hungry person? Does it look like a human being? Does it look old, bent over? Does it look unkept, neglected, hungry, starving, cold, warm? Whatever it looks like for you is absolutely perfect. So if it's okay with you, I want you to allow your grief partner, your grief companion, to come into the house, and that's symbolically coming into the heart, and just offer your grief companion a chair. So it's up to you whether you want to offer him a bare, cold kitchen chair or a warm, comfortable chair near the fire. Perhaps you're feeling some fear in your body because you might be thinking, what if grief never leaves me? I don't want this being in my heart or in my house. I want him to be gone. And that's okay. Just stay with that feeling. It's completely logical and normal. So what you can do now is you notice that you've got some food cooking, or you've got a meal ready. You happen to have a meal ready and the table is set. You can ask your higher self and your grief companion to sit down at the table and offer them some food. And just see what happens next. Whatever happens next is perfect. Maybe your grief companion, that's the companion of your soul, is starting to look younger and brighter and fresher, but maybe that's not happening yet. Maybe he or she wants to tell you something. Maybe it wants to say there is no closure, because closure is just a human construct, because death isn't real, and closure just causes you to close your heart. Our old chapters are never closed. Closure just causes walls to go up in our hearts. Maybe grief is saying you've got a wall in your heart and it's blocking the flow of love and joy. So if that's the case, just allow that wall to turn to dust and allow a gentle breeze to blow away the dust. So the light of your own heart is now more exposed. Maybe grief is telling you, I'm here to show you what's priority in your life. And life is short and it's messy and it's a magical experience. And don't waste so much time on things that don't matter, or relationships that are not important, or just distractions. And you might get a different message, I'm sure you will. So just tune in to the bottom of your heart and see what grief is showing you. Maybe grief will open a door and allow a loved one to enter the room. That might be a loved one who was passed over already, and yet that person still exists in invisible form now. The only thing, you can't see him or her. So if that's the case, just ask grief to do that for you. So you can feel the energy and the company of a loved one who's passed over. So that you know the connection will always be there. It's forever. And just allow grief to do anything and pass any message that's important for you in your life now, and you are being protected by your higher self. It's like the referee. And then when the meal is finished, you can allow your grief companion to get up. Maybe you want to give him a present or her, and just allow him or her to leave the house through the door, and just say that he or she is always welcome, that you're grateful and appreciative, and that you want to have a really good relationship with grief from now on. So you just say your goodbyes, and then you close the door, then you tune back into your heart where you're sitting today. How does it feel now? Sometimes it feels achy, because when we discover the truth or a new truth about the situation, it causes an ache in our hearts for a while, and that's just your heart stretching to encompass, to make room for this new awareness. I want you to bring in your favorite color and allow that to flood your heart, your chest, your lungs, your tummy, every part of your body. Just noticing what's showing up in your body and knowing that everything is welcome and nothing needs to be changed, and that you're on a journey. And life is a journey that keeps going forever. Send yourself some love and compassion and warmth and appreciation. And then when you're ready, you come back behind your eyes, and then you come back into the rooms, keeping your focus inward. So you can do that now. So this is like a short meditation where you get to experience your grief companion, which is really a companion of your soul. So indirectly you connect with your own soul as well, or directly. And as you set up conversation and allow the emotion of grief to flow through your life, every part of your life starts to get better, because the interference is gone, because now you have direct connection, you have direct flow of information. There is less resistance, and the less we resist, the more joy-filled our life becomes. So I feel like I've been going over time for a long time, but my message was just that while we are going through this stage of transformation. So many areas of our life are changing and transforming all the time. The best way to experience that is from the inside of your own innermost being, from your core self. And so over the years I have produced lots of YouTubes and videos like this. You can go back and check some of those out if you need help to feel grounded. And the journey towards wholeness is always into your body and downward, and you start to become safer and more steady in yourself, and also that increases your light and your frequency. So I hope you enjoy this. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, and looking forward to being with you again next year. Stay safe. Big love from me. Bye.